A new lawsuit has emerged following that deadly and devastating apartment collapse in Davenport, Iowa. The owners of the 4th Street Nutrition, as well as 4 other tenants who lived in the building, have filed a lawsuit against the building owner, Andrew Wold, and 2 of his business interests. The suit also lists the City of Davenport and the city's former chief building official, Trishna Pradham, as defendants. It is the first lawsuit connected to the collapse that names Pradham as a defendant. She resigned from her role in the city days after the collapse. Joining me now, the attorney representing the business owners and the people who lived in that building, John Flynn. Thank you for being with us to talk more about this lawsuit this morning. First, though, I'm thinking about the people who have been displaced, lost their homes, injured, and are picking up the pieces after this. They are your clients. How are they doing?
I think they're making do with what they have. Obviously, they lost all their personal property. My commercial clients lost their source of income, and everybody's trying to make do the best they can under the circumstances.
Are they receiving any compensation in this in-between period?
The mayor announced $6,000 per resident. The city hall was supposed to approve that last week. I'm not sure if they actually did or not. So there'll be that temporary aid, but that does not preclude us from suing the city for additional damages and suing Mr. Wold for additional damages.
Talk about the lawsuit specifically, what you are alleging and what clients you have involved in this case.
Well, the focus here is threefold. One, we're suing Mr. Wold under several theories. One of his negligence per se, which means he's negligent as a matter of law, and another is maintaining a hazardous nuisance, which under the restatement of torts results in strict liability, which means he's liable as a matter of law. So under either situation, we feel very confident that we're going to get a judge against at least his shell companies. We're also seeking to do what they call pierce the corporate veil. That means we're trying to get through the shell companies and at Mr. Wold's personal assets, because obviously the only thing the shell company owned is a building that at this minute, 2 blocks away from me, is being torn down by the City of Davenport. So the other issue is the City of Davenport and the responsibility it had to inspect the building. In the petition, we outlined a number of times over the last 2 years where the city had inspected and told the owner to fix things. He never did. And the city's responsible because ultimately they should have made him vacate the building. There was no reason to keep those tenants in that building that everybody knew, according to the evidence, the wall was going to fall down. So our theory against the city is that they were culpable for failing to abate the nuisance, number one, but number two, get the tenants out of there in time. If they had done that, my clients could have got all their personal property out, and we wouldn't have the unfortunate injuries and loss of life.
The lawsuit also names the chief building official, former chief building official, Trishna Pradham. What do you allege was her role in all of this?
She's statutorily responsible as the enforcement officer for the City of Davenport. Under Davenport ordinances, section 8.15, she has the ultimate responsibility to abate a hazardous nuisance. They started the process, but for some reason that has not yet been explained to me, they quit. And even though individuals came forward, such as Ryan Schaefer, who I think is the true hero in all this mess, he was a contractor who bid on the contract. He bid a certain amount of money. The owner said, that's too much money, I'm going to go hire. And he did hire cheap labor, but they didn't know what they were doing. And so we feel that the city should be held accountable because they failed to protect the public and particularly the tenants in that building, and also the firefighters and emergency workers that had to go in the building to get people out. I think that they're culpable for that action. We're not criticizing the mayor or the city council. I want to be clear about that. We're focusing on the administrative staff who did not do their job for whatever reason.
And are you confident there is a significant paperwork trail that documents the complaints and the lack of action that you claim happened in preventing this tragedy? Is the paperwork there?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We cite it in our lawsuit. There's 2 or 3 other lawsuits. They cite the same paperwork. And so, yes, it's very provable, the history and the owner's neglect. I liken this owner to a slum landlord. He would not spend any money to fix the conditions for the 2 years he owned it. And he should ultimately be held responsible. But then again, the city ultimately should have protected the individuals who were living in there, and they failed to do so.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.